Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to QnA, the show where I take your questions from YouTube, Twitter, and all of the above. Boy, do we have an interesting Q&A here. Now, I'm just going to get some things out the way that aren't even questions because it's a very interesting situation. It's almost bordering towards emergency stream territory, to be honest with you. But this whole, I think this is something to watch here. I'm not normally somebody who gives you a heads up on these things, but I do think this is something to watch because this whole Baker Mayfield not playing in this game thing, there's something off about that, right? Like the fact that in his press conference after the game, he said that he was going to talk to his family and his agents about whether he should play, and then it comes out before they even have a practice, before he even meets with the team doctors, that he's not going to play this week and that it was a team decision somehow. Look, man, I told y'all this when the writing was on the wall with Odell. I'm starting to see that same writing form because it's a eerily similar thing. It's not the exact same thing, but it's eerily similar where a player's being told not to show up for next week's game. You know what I mean? Like not to play, basically, right? Have your surgery. And the part of the story that's really interesting is they're saying even if he doesn't have his surgery before this week. And what we do know about the labrum injury, despite what people on the internet tell you, like this is what actual doctors say about the labrum surgery. It's going to be like that regardless, right? That labrum's going to be torn whether he plays and gets hit or not. It's really just about pain at that point. It can't get that much worse than what it already is because they've already said it's already at the worst case scenario or whatever it is. At least that's what Baker Mayfield's camp has leaked out over the year, which has been convenient that has coincided when his play has been low. But, you know, the fact of the matter is that Baker Mayfield is not playing this game. And look, I know some people are going to say it's strictly because of injury. This seems pretty voluntary to me. Like, you know, I mean, I think it would be pretty naive to think that this is not a voluntary sit and this is not a mutual parting of ways, basically, for both Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns, because this looks like that last game in Pittsburgh might be it for him, right? I was not anticipating that. But the way this whole week has been shaking out so far, where they have announced on Tuesday after the game that he's not playing, I don't know about that one. That's something to keep an eye on. That's not nothing. And I know a lot of people want to make it nothing because they want to live in a world where this drama is going to go away and Baker's going to go back to playing at a top 10 level and we have nothing to worry about at the quarterback position. But the evidence is leaning too hard in the other direction that we're going to have to start looking in other ways at the quarterback thing. So that's just my thoughts on that whole situation. I think it's very weird. I think it's peculiar. Whether you're a Baker fan or not, I think if you're being objective, right? If we were talking about the whole Odell thing and we were saying how weird that situation was, you can't look at this situation and say it's not weird too. You can't excuse it then. So yeah, nah, man, this is weird. This is weird. I know they're using the injury as the result of it, but he's had that injury all year. Again, man, he didn't leave the game injured, but yet he's already out for Sunday's game. There's something there. All right, but we'll get into questions, man. We'll get into questions. This first question is from Mike Wack, who says, give me the straight facts. How screwed are we? We're not really screwed, to be honest with you. I don't get this sentiment. Look, the Browns were screwed this year. The Browns had a bad year, but I don't think they're screwed long term because they're not in a bad cap situation, to be honest with you, right? If we were stuck with guaranteed, like the Jared Goff contract, yeah, we would be a little screwed. But even then, there are ways to get out of that. The fact of the matter is, like, let's not lose facts here. This is not going to be a team that just because Baker Mayfield's not on it or they don't have a quote-unquote franchise quarterback, that they're just going to go down to the depths of hell. Like, this is a team that's going to hover at worst, like this year, around 8-8, 500, because they still got Nick Chubb. They're going to have Kareem Hunt. You know, they're going to have a good offensive line. They still have a very good defense. They still have Myles Garrett, and they probably going to still have Denzel Ward. Like, they have enough pieces defensively and offensively that will keep them afloat. We're not screwed. We would be screwed if we would be like in a long-term situation. But the way this is shaking out, it doesn't look like we're going to have to worry about that whole thing. And the Browns are going to be able to move on a little bit more with less strings attached than other teams have, right? I don't think we're going to have to worry about giving up a pick just to let a player go. I think we're going to be able to be in a fortunate situation here where, hey, we found out whether we want to go long term with this dude. The answer is probably no from all the tea leaves and the way things are shaking out and the way you could just read the situation. It doesn't look like the answer is going to be yes. I would be surprised if the answer is yes at this point. And they're going to find and look at different options. Next question comes from Kevin Herbs, who says, better question. Why is the media dogging Baker when Trevor Lawrence only won 2 games this year and he's a number 1 pick too? Well, I mean, when you're a rookie, you do get a level of grace, right? When you're a rookie, people give you a level of grace. Baker got a lot of grace in his rookie year, right? Because nobody talked about his interceptions in his rookie year because he was a rookie, right? And Trevor Lawrence has had a bad rookie year, but this is Baker Mayfield's 4th year, and it's his 2nd really, really bad year. And when you're at that point, right, at year 4, like year 1 and year 2, you get grace as a young quarterback or a young coach or whatever you are. Those are your first 2 years. People are willing to give you grace in those areas. But once you get to year 3 and year 4, in the NFL, it's winning time. Quite frankly, it's winning time. And if you aren't winning, they're going to dog you. That's just it. It's not unfair. If Trevor Lawrence gets to year 4 and he's still playing like this, he's going to get dogged. Everybody's going to get there. So it's not really a fair comparison. Trevor Lawrence is a rookie. Yes, people are going to be more lenient to him because they're going to be more sympathetic to his situation, 1. And 2, they're going to be more sympathetic to the fact that he's a rookie, right? And he didn't get he lost his coach in the middle of the year. Like if Trevor Lawrence were your quarterback in that situation, you'd be making all the excuses in the world for him too. The next question comes from KW Outdoors, who says, do you think Baker has any chance of re-signing with the Browns after that Monday Night Football game? Again, they're letting him not play this last game. Now, again, maybe it's because they don't want any more damage going to that labrum, but the fact that they left James Hudson one-on-one and the fact that this wasn't just the coaching, right? Like this wasn't like the coaches were like, hey, we're going to take him out, not rest him this week. This was literally Baker Mayfield after the game on Monday on a press conference contemplating whether he's going to play. This seems like a Baker Mayfield decision not to play in this game. So if that's the case, it seems like Baker's out on this team. Baker's out on the locker room, and the locker room's out on him. This seems like there is a lot more going behind the scenes than what we are privy to from where we are looking at things. And it seems like there's more than meets the eye in that both sides are quite frankly eager to end this relationship. At the end of this season. I think that's where we're leaning. Like, it just seems like it. I've seen situations like this go down. This looks like the end of the road for this situation because it's happened in other NFL teams. This looks eerily similar. The next question comes from Jay Engelman, who says, how high of a pick can we get now? We're at the top 12. If we lose, do we crack the top 10? I don't think we can crack the top 10 because the Broncos are still in front of us and the Vikings are in front of us, and that's 9 and 10. Let me double check this. Yeah, so the only way the Browns can get a top 10 pick right now is if both Atlanta, Denver, and Minnesota, all 3 of them win, and the Browns lose versus Cincinnati. They could get a top 10 pick, but it's only the 10th pick, right? It's not like they're going to jump into like 9 or 6 or anything. They can't get those picks because Washington already has 10 losses. The Browns can't get 10 losses. Also, one thing you have to keep in mind, let's say the Browns lose, but Denver and Minnesota also lose, which is possible because, they're both in the same range of team. That means that the Browns will get like the 12th pick. If Atlanta also wins, you know what I mean? Look, the Browns probably going to sit at 13, 15. And if the Browns win and they get to 9 wins, they can only really jump to 15. So they're going to sit somewhere between 10 and 15. There's not much to be gained or lost. We're in the middle of the draft regardless. I don't think we can really crack a top 10. I don't think that's going to happen. But that's the whole situation with the draft pick. The next question comes from Dongle Book Pro, who says, do you think the Browns should sign or draft another QB, or should they stick with Baker? I don't think this – I think we're getting to a point to where I don't even know if your opinion on whether you want Baker here or not is what matters. I think it's more about the relationship between Baker and whatever's going on internally. He's hinted at it. Baker's hinted at it throughout the year, right? When he's on an interview with Kurt Warner, he's talking about things happening internally in the building and some internal hurdles that they've had to get over. He's thrown shots at Kevin Stefanski in multiple press conferences. There seems to be something not great there in the locker room when it comes to Baker Mayfield and his relationship with Kevin, with his relationship with the team. I mean, you can see it when the offense is on the field. Nobody's excited about anything going on with the offense, and nobody really is excited about when they step on the field with Baker Mayfield right now. What are the root causes of that? What are the fine details of those relationships? I have no idea. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But it doesn't seem like it's a situation that they're interested in letting carry on even another game, quite frankly, let alone another season. So they're probably looking at a new quarterback. Who that new quarterback's going to be? Look, I would wait for these conversations until after the playoffs are over, just because you never know who's going to become available, right? Matt Stafford could have a terrible playoff game and they decide to cut bait. Minnesota could decide that they're done with Kirk Cousins. Same thing could happen with the Raiders and Derek Carr. Like, quarterbacks shake loose in this time period all the time. So we'll see what happens here. I know the Browns are probably going to be looking at their options, and they're probably going to be looking at these veteran options because I'm going to be honest with you, I took a cursory look at these quarterback prospects. And I don't care who you're a fan of, Malik Wills, Carson Strong, they don't look great. Kenny Pickett's all right, but I'm not drafting Kenny Pickett in the first round. But yeah, I have not been in love with any of these quarterback prospects from my first look at any of them, to be honest with you. So it's probably going to be trade or free agency territory right there. Bishop with a question here says, is Kevin Stefanski at risk of losing his job? If yes, who do you think we should? No, Kevin's not going to be losing his job. Kevin won Coach of the Year in his first year. You have to remember Kevin Stefanski is in his second year. The reason Baker Mayfield has lost all of this grace is because it's his fourth year, right? If Kevin gets to year 4 and it's like this again, yeah, he's probably going to be at risk of losing his job, or he's going to be at the hot seat for year 5. But the fact of the matter is, you're not going to fire a coach after he had one of your best years in franchise history, and then he followed it up with a year that was very disappointing. You can't fire him after that. That's ridiculous. You'll never find anybody competent that wants to coach your team again if you fire a dude who won Coach of the Year the year previous, and you're the Cleveland Browns and Jimmy Haslam, who already have a bad reputation for being impatient with coaches to begin with. Like, it's an uphill battle when it comes to perception to get coaches here to begin with. The fact that you would consider that would be ridiculous, right? It would murder your ability to hire coaches if it's not already murdered at this point. So you got to stick this thing out with Kevin Stefanski, quite frankly, and I'm fine with that. The next question comes from Kevin, who says, how can the Browns attract more offensive players to join the team? So honestly, if they got Russell Wilson or somebody like that, that would probably go a long way, right? The ability to attract offensive players on the team is going to rely on what the Browns have at quarterback to start next year, right? If it's Baker Mayfield, it's probably not going to be great because the perception of Baker Mayfield is not great around the league. Whether what you think about him personally, the perception around the league is not great about Baker Mayfield. If you want players to join the offense, you got to get somebody who people feel more positive about. If they got Russell Wilson or somebody like that, or Aaron Rodgers, which is a pipe dream, then yeah, you might have a shot. But other than that, it's going to be what it is. Good thing is, you got 2 running backs on the roster that are pretty good, and you could build around that. So I don't think they're screwed when it comes to that. Next question comes from Ben H, who says, should we let Hooper go this year? I ain't going to even read the rest of this question yet. Hooper's gone, bro. Hooper is absolutely doofly gone. He has been a disappointment for 2 years. He's gone. He is absolutely gone. No question, he's gone. I would be surprised if he's on the training camp roster next year. All right, y'all, but that's going to be it for this week's Q&A. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the love and support. Come check me out this week. I feel like I'm going to have a lot of interesting content, not only this week, but after the season wraps up. I'm working on a lot of things here, so come check me out. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're notified. But again, guys, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Have a good night.